GRP pipes are engineered to sit in the ground for over 50 years without corroding, but that half-century lifespan means nothing if the connections between those pipes fail. The integrity of your entire system comes down to selecting the correct joint for your specific site conditions. This comparison table shows the essential classification system for GRP pipelines: unrestrained or restrained. The immediate appeal of an unrestrained joint is speed. Crews align and set these connections in under 10 minutes, keeping timelines aggressive. But that speed requires a compromise. Unrestrained joints are strictly limited to low-pressure applications. Because they can pull apart under axial loads, complex concrete thrust blocks must anchor pipeline bends. Restrained joints physically lock pipes together, surviving high-pressure flows and seismic activity without support blocks. The penalty here is logistical. Restrained connections demand highly certified labor, precise control over temperature and humidity, and 48-hour curing delays per joint. Joint selection dictates the balance between your immediate installation velocity and the long-term environmental resilience the site demands. To evaluate your options, we've structured a 5-column matrix categorizing all 8 standard GRP methods. We start with the most foundational, unrestrained option, bell and spigot. The mechanism here relies on single or double O-rings. Using non-petroleum lubricants, trench crews slide the spigot into the bell. This design handles minor misalignments, offering about 3 degrees of angular deflection. It is highly cost-effective for straight runs. However, because there is no physical lock, the fluid pressure will separate the pipes unless you engineer external thrust blocks to anchor them in place. Moving down the matrix, we have our second unrestrained option, RECA couplings. Instead of O-rings on the pipe itself, a RECA system uses an independent fiberglass collar fitted with dry EPDM rubber gaskets to seal the connection. This design holds a very specific position in the market. It offers the fastest installation time of any GRP joint, but its capacity is strictly capped at low pressure flows, maxing out at 6 bar. These two unrestrained methods are built almost entirely for municipal water and sewage networks. Engineers specify them when they deliberately trade systemic pressure capacity for raw installation speed. When you need to introduce mechanical holding power or connect dissimilar materials, the parameters change. First, we look at mechanical steel couplings. These bolted clamp systems are incredibly versatile. If you need to execute a rapid repair in a wet trench, or attach a GRP line directly to an existing HDPE or steel network, this is the tool for the job. The critical flaw is the material itself. By clamping steel onto a fiberglass pipe, you introduce severe corrosion risk into a completely non-corrosive system. If the soil is harsh, you will have to apply expensive anti-corrosion coatings to the joint. For a true restrained option that stays within the GRP family, we move to key lock couplings. These couplings utilize a locking cord fed into a groove between the pipe and the collar. That physical locking mechanism provides immediate axial restraint against medium to high pressure flows, and it does so without requiring any chemical curing delays. The trade-off is financial. The complex manufacturing required for the locking grooves means these components cost significantly more than simple RECA collars. If a section of the pipeline requires routine maintenance, like connecting to a pump station or a valve, you will need a flanged joint for detachability. The constraint here happens during assembly. GRP flanges are relatively brittle compared to steel. You must use flat-face flanges with full-face gaskets, and crews have to tighten the bolts in an exact star pattern to a specific torque value. Over-tightening will fracture the fiberglass. Mechanical methods give you modularity and immediate structural strength, but operators must actively monitor them for vulnerabilities like external bolt corrosion or localized stress fractures. For permanent high-pressure pipelines, we move into the highest-tier restrained methods, starting with adhesive bonded connections. By applying a specialized industrial epoxy to tapered or straight spigots, trench crews fuse the two pipes together. Once cured, this forms a rigid, permanent bond designed to withstand industrial flow pressures up to 32 bar. The logistical demands are severe. The trench must be protected from dust and moisture. The epoxy requires a mandatory 24-hour curing window, and the technicians must carry specific bonder qualification record certifications. Next is the glued, or combi joint, which acts as a hybrid bonded option. Combi joints combine internal EPDM rubber seals with an external epoxy matrix. This provides dual-layer security against leaks, though your crews will still face the identical complex curing delays of a standard adhesive joint. Finally, we reach the most extreme joining method available, the laminated or butt and wrap joint. This is a highly manual process. Technicians apply overlapping layers of woven fiberglass and liquid resin directly over the abutted pipe ends. The outcome is the strongest possible custom connection, often used for fixed marine points. The trade-off is that it carries the absolute highest labor cost of any method on the board. Chemical and bonded joints guarantee maximum pressure capacity and permanent stability. In exchange, they entirely eliminate schedule flexibility from a project manager's timeline. Mapping these 8 methods onto a diagnostic flowchart identifies the most reliable joint based on your specific operating environment. This starts with a single question: what is your operating pressure? This establishes the primary division. We separate pipelines into those that operate at or below 6 bar and those operating above it. If you are on the low-pressure branch, evaluate your ground conditions. If you are a municipal contractor laying pipe in stable soil, you should default to Reka or bell and spigot couplings to maximize your labor savings. The exception happens if that soil is unstable or prone to shifting. In that case, the system must divert to key lock couplings to secure the line and avoid the cost of pouring concrete thrust blocks. Moving to the high-pressure branch, industrial pipelines require an immediate commitment to adhesive or laminated joints for pure structural survival. The only detour here is if a specific section of the network requires future detachability, pointing you directly to flanged joints. If you take that high-pressure bonded route, understand the unforgiving reality of the installation. There is zero margin for error in surface preparation. If the joint isn't perfect, it will fail the mandatory hydrostatic test, which pushes 1.5 times the design pressure through the system. The ultimate success of the pipeline depends on diagnosing the specific pressure and soil parameters before breaking ground, ensuring the chosen joint matches the physical reality of the site.